You're listening to Ernestly Speaking, the only weekly podcast that covers friends, foes, and anything that goes. And now, for your badass host, Ernest Owens. And we're back for another episode of Ernestly Speaking with your host, Ernest Owens, myself. Woo-wee! It is May, okay? We're in the throes of May, and it has just been a month full of all types of madness, surprises, craziness, all types of stuff, and I'm just so happy that I don't know. There's just been this sense of happiness in spite of all the mayhem of the world and politics, but I'm at a place of just no fucks given. It's a different type of groove. And I care, of course, about things and whatnot. But, some of the things that I have just coming up in my life is just making me just realize that some of the frivolous things that I sometimes harp on, I'm just learning to just be like, does it fucking matter? It's just, I don't know. Sometimes you just have those moments where you have to take a look in the mirror and look at yourself and go, okay, yeah, I'm that bad. I'm that person. And I definitely had that moment a lot this week specifically. But just in general, it's just been a month of revelations and just understanding myself, but understanding people. Understanding, demand my respect externally. Internally, you can always be someone that definitely have the self-esteem, the confidence. But sometimes you just, it could be different being the guy who is, or woman, or person, or individual, however you identify, that is just pretty much used to, just being very Mr. Nice Person or Miss Nice Person or whomever. You're just so used to being the nice person in the situation that you're like, oh, I'm so used to sidelining sometimes my slightest annoyances. But I've been paying close attention to the things that tick, the things that annoy me, the things that make me go, And not just keeping it, to myself, but in certain situations, stepping up and saying, actually, no, I don't have time for that. No, I don't want to do that. And practicing the art of saying no to even things that, somebody else might want or value or whatever the case is. And just putting my foot down and saying, actually, I'm good. I don't feel like doing that. And it's something. It used to be. It still is sometimes hard for me because I don't. Sometimes I worry about I don't want to let people down or whatever. But then I look at myself and say, well, I got to create a hierarchy here, a hierarchy of means and needs. And so one of the things that I've been doing on my journey is that I have made it a point not to respond to everything, which is hard. For starters, I love that the comment sections of my articles don't exist for most of the work that I do. So I'm so happy I don't have to read damn comments for most of the shit. Now, sometimes you could go on social media, you can find that on Facebook, but I don't respond to comments anyway. But just that was one way. But what I've learned through time is that I get a lot of people who get in my inbox and send me messages and comments or questions. And I'm like, you know what? Google exists. And I'm not going to be that person, regardless of whoever the person is, unless I personally know them. But I'm just not going to just feel like I have to answer a question or inconvenience myself because folks don't have manners. And I've also been very thoughtful about manners lately. There's been a lot of people who just get in my messages and ask me questions. Even acquaintances, that would just say, where the event is tomorrow? Details on, and I'm like, wait a minute, who are you talking to? Can I get a good afternoon, a good morning? And I'm always like that. I'm always someone who's old-fashioned. Even I don't think it's old-fashioned, but I am the person that always says, hi, hello, good afternoon, good morning. I hope this, all is well. I'm always formal, and I think that matters. And when I was younger, I didn't realize that type of greeting, how much it means. Because as someone who has things to do and recognize that the world does not revolve around me, I will always appreciate a person that can take a moment to just check in respectfully and really do so respectfully. Say, hey, good afternoon. I hope all is well. Like how much that changes the vibe of a conversation versus just simply abruptly. I think the only people that can do that to me that I'm talking to consistently so it doesn't even like count are like my close friends that like are in group chats with me, or like of course my fiance. And I'm actually I do it to him a lot. I'm like, what time you come home? But like that's because we woke up in bed and it was a good morning. So I don't have to say good morning every day or a good afternoon or whatever. But like I just think that people don't follow that, and I'm starting to really realize that as someone who has a lot of things going on, and we all do, that manners matter. And you really have to start a conversation with a hey or a hello or something to just take a moment. Because if you bum rushing a person that's already getting a bunch of emails, I've got a situation where people just have spammed me or just dump. Can we stop dumping in people's inboxes? And I'm not just talking about myself, but there are people that just dump paragraphs on fucking paragraphs. Can you stop for a second and think to yourself, somebody has to read this? And before you just drop all your shit in someone's inbox, can you take a step back and wonder, maybe this person is taking a nap, or maybe this person just got out of the shower, or maybe this person just doing whatever the fuck they're doing, and it's not necessary for you to just say, I'm going to dump all of my shit in this person's inbox. And then the whole, I'm sorry, fuck that. If you're going to apologize for something, then don't do it before you apologize. If you're going to have to apologize, then you need to back it up. There's been situations where I was in the middle of typing this, and I was like, hold up, let me back up. I'm doing too much. Let me hold on. Let me check in. Hey, this is a good time for you. Hey, good evening, so and so. Are you free for a little bit? I just want to talk to you something that was on my mind. Are you free right now? No, you're not. Can we check in the morning? Like that's what I do. I even have done things. This is one of the pro tips, because I'm in a position where, I'm the president of a nonprofit board. I'm on several other groups. One of the things that I've learned, and this is something I've been doing for a minute now, is don't send people late night emails. Just because you got an idea that came to your mind at the moment, you know what you do? Write that email and schedule it for a decent hour the next fucking day. So I am sometimes a night owl. Like I love to write. Sometimes my writing and my flow comes good at night. I've always been a little nocturnal. That's just how I've been. But at night, I sometimes get my best ideas and I'm writing and I'm doing my thing. Or as I'm playing a schedule or an event or a slideshow, there might be things where I'm ready to send. I say, wait a minute, I can't send this to somebody at 1 o'clock in the morning. That person is asleep. So let me write this email out with a good morning and then send what I was going to send and then schedule it for like 10:30 or 10:45. I'm not going to do a 9 a.m. blast because that's just too much. But I will always do stuff like 10:45 or 11:15, something like that, where they get it to their inbox and it's scheduled to send out. So that the good thing is that my thoughts are there. I've already thought this through and it's fresh in my mind. But when they receive it, they're receiving it at a decent hour where it seems like my head's in the right place, rather than getting it at a sporadic, impulsive, 2 a.m. or something, So I've learned that, to be respectful of just how you bombard people. Because, some people just don't have any sense of space. And it's important to know this, that whoever you're doing this to, they can't stand you. They're not going to tell you. They probably love you, but they also probably can't stand you. And on behalf of those people who can't curse you out because we got bigger fish and bags to procure, get a grip. Get a grip. Get a grip. Schedule your emails. Don't text nobody at random hours. Do a greeting. Have some manners. And recognize that the world does not revolve around you and your first world problems. You do that, you're going to be all right. Period. So I just want to say that, because a lot of times, people just be doing the most. And I just think it's important sometimes to slow people down and let people know that we can all take a breath, okay? So, I have finally graduated officially with my gown, cap and gown, the whole, kente cloth, tassels and all that. You all show a lot of love on Instagram and my social media. When I posted, I finally got, I was finally officially a grad. I graduated early last semester, but the formal graduation with the gown, the photo, and all the nostalgia and the ceremony, virtual ceremony, everything that took place was on Tuesday. And, I'm an alumni now. I'm a proud, I'm a proud alum of the University of Southern California. Just like I'm a proud alum of the University of Pennsylvania. So the best of the East, the best of the West. I went to the best communication schools in the country, and they both are Annenberg schools. And so I flex that. I'm proud of that. That's something I'm excited about. It didn't really hit me until this week. It's weird because I've been done with my coursework for a minute, but it just hit me that I did that. I have a master's degree, and it was something special to me, and I had to let people know why it was special. Anyone graduating right now during graduation season, like my brother's going to graduate next week from high school. He's going to Temple University, so I'm super excited for him, and I'm going down. And he doesn't listen to my podcast, so I can say this on the podcast. I don't know. He might be listening. Who knows? Listen. Let's just hope he don't listen to this one, but. I realized, so Mr. Johnson and I are going to be going to Houston. It's going to be a little vacation for both of us. It's like a vacation. We're going to be there for like a whole week. So it's going to be a real vacation. And I've decided that I'm not going to do my podcast next week. Because one, I have equipment. I don't have portable equipment to take it with me. I've wanted to do it. But then I also said, I don't have time for them to play with this mic. And this stuff is not together. But, do I want to announce this? No, I'll save that. I'll save that bit about equipment the week when we come back. But we are going to take a season break next week. So I might do an episode when I get back on a Sunday or something, maybe. But I'm going to take a week break to enjoy this vacation, like to fully enjoy it. I did have plans to say, I'm going to have my brothers on the show and all that jazz. But then I realized that, I need some portable equipment. And it dawned on me, when I started thinking about, snap, I got to bring the box. I got to bring I got to bring all the stuff. And I was like, I didn't think this through. So I just said, you know what? This was just a sign. Just chill. Just y'all be all right. You got my social media. I'll definitely be giving you all some Instagram video and some Facebook posts and some Twitter and all that jazz. So it's not like you're gonna miss me, but I know, right, the deep dive. But I also think that's kind of good too, because when I do get back, we can definitely talk about what goes on that trip, because there's some things that's gonna definitely go down. I have a feeling, just family, fun and silliness, and I just think I want to be in the moment of that weekend and of this vacation, and just give myself just that breather. So I'm going to give myself a full vacation. I'm getting out of the state. I'm getting out of Pennsylvania. I'm going to Houston. I'm being with my folks. We live in Katy, but it's Houston adjacent, but we live in Katy now in the Cinco Ranch area. So that's kind of dope. But I'm just going to look forward to just eating real authentic Mexican food, real authentic barbecue, real Tex-Mex, some really incredible seafood, okay? Because the northeastern seafood is, listen, y'all got some good seafood too. I appreciate the crab meat, right? What else y'all got? Y'all got some decent, seafood around here, oysters and stuff. It's decent around here, but I am looking forward to Cajun seafood. I'm looking forward to charcoal, oysters that are baked and sauteed, not just raw. I want them charcoaled and fried and, all that kind of stuff. I'm looking forward to some interesting dishes that I just feel like the South just do best, especially the Gulf Coast area. I love that. So I'm looking forward to some of that good food. Compared to some of the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's a lot. And I just I'm going to be excited about the food. One of the things that so to him. So what I did was that I got a bunch of temple gear for him. And I realized that these airports don't be playing those games. You know, I got the pre-check. I said, I'm going to mail his stuff directly to the house, but put it in my name. So the stuff is there. All of his swag, all of his, you know, temple swag and all that jazz. I got sweaters. Can I just say, for all you people that go to temple, I don't know. I hate shopping for your temple's gear. I just want to just say that. Like, it was a pain in the ass finding the perfect size. Like, do y'all not have larges? Do y'all not have larges? I mean, is everything, you know, Under Armour? I was online trying to find shirts and sweatshirts. I mean, my God, it was hard to find good looking apparel. Like, the stuff was just all over the place. And I was just like, come on, Temple. Like, I can't find a decent t-shirt that's out of stock. Maybe it's because it's just graduation season, so everybody bought all the Temple stuff. I was just like, it was wild. Like, when I go to the Penn bookstore, okay, Penn has everything in every shape, size, color, design, print. I mean, I get it, but just come on, Temple. Like, you are a big ass college. Y'all know y'all need to have more large shirts. Y'all know it's Philly. People out here ain't no small. It was a lot. But fortunately, I was able to find some shirts and stuff. But the prices, man, I don't remember sweatshirts being like $65. Am I missing something? Like, is it a what kind of design? I'm just was confused. But I got him a sweatshirt. I got him a t-shirt. I got him a backpack, a Temple, you know, design backpack, a wallet for his ID that was like embroidered with the Temple University on it, a water bottle, some other stuff. I got my mom a t-shirt because, you know how that goes. Everybody wanted, all the Temple mom shirts and stuff like that. So I got some good stuff. And so everything's getting mailed over to him. So I'm going to surprise him with it when he graduates, which is going to be next week, I think early Tuesday, which is weird, Tuesday night. So that's going to be weird. But we're going to be outside, social distance apparently. But you know how Texas is. Listen, the mask is not coming the fuck off, okay? Let me be very clear. The mask is not coming the fuck off. Facts. It's not. Then he's having a graduation dinner at Perry's Steakhouse, which I don't know if they have a Perry's in Philly, but the party planner and myself had to make sure we had to come correct with that. So I had to plan that dinner out, make sure the prefix was together, because we're going to have like 20-something people there. Got a nice big old dining room situation. It's going to be lit. You know, mind you, these restrictions in Philadelphia aren't lifted to June 11th. Texas already having big dinner parties, but everybody in the crew is like vaxxed and things, and stuff. But like, it's just like, come on. So we're doing that. Me and some friends from high school. Jamarcus is coming. He's gonna visit his family. I'm gonna try to visit his family in Houston too. So we're just gonna make the most out of the week and just really just like chow down and wind down. And then I'm back in Philly. After Memorial Day weekend, because I'm actually going to come back that Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. So, get here, relax, enjoy myself, take a break, and just celebrate. There's a lot to celebrate. I have so much to celebrate, and I feel like I don't want to make this analogy, but somebody that's expecting news and they know the news, but they don't want to tell people, but they have that glow. And I'm not talking about, a glow like in birth. No, I'm not having a baby. I mean, first I have to get married. At least that's what I would like to do. I'm not judging folks that do other things. I'm just saying I want to get this I do first, and then, see what happens next. But that I'm not hinting at children at all. Let me get this together. I'm just saying to have some great news. Several pieces of great news. And I think that June is going to be the month, but I don't want to jinx myself because anything can happen between now and next week. But I think most definitely June is going to be the month. And I knew it most likely would be the summer, but I thought maybe May, but it looks like for scheduling and some things that everything's going to just drop like in June. Like June is going to be like a crazy month. And it's going to be a blast. And this podcast is going to be super dope. And there's some super special announcements I have about the podcast too that is kind of cool too. But I'm not sharing that today. So let me stop trolling you all. Wedding planning, for those who ask, has been fabulous. It's been interesting now that things are starting to open up a little bit more. I've been going to media events, seeing cool people. Shout out to Josh Eats Philly, who is a super fan of this podcast and listens to it religiously, which I didn't even know. But we always see each other. It's always a good time. But we saw each other at a recent foodie event, and I just love his social media and the stuff that he do. But yeah, he's on Instagram at Josh Eats Philly, and he literally be eating Philly, y'all. Like, I just be looking at them pictures, like, and if you look at him, he is the thinnest thing ever. I'm just like, how does he do it? I need to figure it out. But that's that Black eating excellence, okay? I don't listen. His appetite is bigger than him, and he just eats his way through Philly, y'all. I mean, the photos are just incredible, and just food pornography is the best way to describe it. I get on there and I get food horny looking at those foods. I get hungry horny if it's food pornography, I suppose, food porn. So I get hungry horny on there looking at the food. My appetite and my tongue wags, and I'm just like, oh, how does he do it? And he has this cool thing where, like, and I just think this is, I mean, a lot of people, I guess some people do, but I just think the way he do it is that he does this thing where he breaks the cookies in half, and he folds them like in this weird way, like a sandwich. I don't know how to describe it, but you'll see in this picture. Like he cuts them in pieces, and then he like stacks them. And he does that with cookies. He does it with donuts. He does these weird like shit. But like it's so like, if you did it in real life, it's weird. But for a photo, it makes sense because I want to see layers. He loved him a layer cake. He loved him a 10, 15, 20 layer cake. That's one of his specialties. I live. You have to see him though. He does videos where he puts it with music. He cuts. He slices through it and stuff. And I know there's some other people that do it, but like he's Black and he's gay and he does it with some flair and some real attention to detail that some of these other foodie photographer type folks don't have, because he knows what the people are coming to see. I want to see the food. Some of these food Instagram folks, and I'm not throwing shade at the foodie community because I love the food community. But some of these Instagrams, I'm like, I don't want to see all these model shots of you by yourself. I want to see food. I want to see food. I want to see you with food. I'm here to fucking eat. Okay? I don't want to see Instagram model. I want you to Instagram model this fucking food. Let me see them. Let me see them. Let me see that pizza. Let me see that pasta. So if he's listening to this cracking up, I just want you to know that I just appreciate the work that you do on Instagram and on social, and just how you've made the food experience in Philadelphia something to be proud of. Because Philadelphia, listen, it's a hit and miss town with food. I could do a whole special about that, and maybe I will. Who knows? But I just want to be clear that there is a food. The food culture in Philadelphia right now is going through some things. Good and bad. It's just a lot of weird things happening right now. And, I could talk about it for hours because food is one of my passions and things that I care a lot about. Because, I mean, eating is life. Duh. But moving along, wedding planning has been great. I look forward to the summer because shit is about to get real. We're like this week is 2 months until my wedding shower in July. So we're getting close, y'all. I mean, each step of the way, the wedding shower is coming up. Also, guys, I am teaching a writing class. If you all been on my Instagram, I've been promoting it with Blue Stoop. But I am teaching a writing class. Registration is closed. It's a virtual class. It's going to be done on Zoom. So there's social distancing. So there'll be people from Philadelphia and across the country taking this class. Got a really great contract and opportunity through Blue Stoop. Really wanted to hone into my creative and instructional skills. I've always taught classes during summers, but normally I teach like younger kids to Upward Bound and things. But this was something special, a special opportunity that I just really didn't want to turn away. And so this course is called Getting Your Voice Out There, Writing and Pitching Short Form with Ernest Owens. And it's going to be Monday starting in June. The class is from June 6th to July 29th. So it's going to be for like, 2 months, eight weeks and whatnot. But it's a great class, and I'm going to be showing people the ropes. I mean, the class is 2 hours a week. This class is basically going to teach people practical techniques to writing short personal essays, op-eds, and reported pieces that lend themselves well to publication in a top media outlet. It is going to be super dope. I've definitely, registrations exceeded the minimum requirement. So it's going to be a class. There's so many people that applied. And so I know they're trying to work out, there's going to be financial aid for Philadelphia residents who can't afford to pay for the course. The course is only $400, but there is financial aid opportunities because that equity was important to me. It's going to be a diverse class. I'm looking forward to just, giving people a master class and what I know best in the writing space. So this is going to be a dope opportunity. I can't wait to start that in June. That's one of many things I got going on, but that was just something I'm excited about. Things that I'm super excited about. I am excited that this DA's race is over. Yes, you all. This week, the Philadelphia Democratic primaries are officially over. Larry Krasner won by a landslide, which isn't so much of a shocker to anybody. Carlos Vega just lost. And, I mean, again, not much of a surprise there. To be honest, and I'm going to get back into that DA's race in a minute because there's a lot of stuff to unpack there. But I'm very excited about the judicial races. One of my best friends, like homegirls, she worked the campaign of Nick Kamau, who won his seat and crushed it. Highest vote getter in the Court of Common Pleas for the judicial seat. He's a black man. That's unheard of. I mean, there was a lot of black judges that won races this election cycle. Their primaries, lots of black women, but black men specifically, and that's a big fucking deal. But Nick Kamau made history as being the first person to ever get a highly recommended by unanimous vote by the Philadelphia Bar Association. Oh my God. Like, I was so happy. He got endorsed by the Democratic Party. He got endorsements from almost everybody. I don't know many people who did not endorse him, but he got the highest vote. And my homegirl, Wendy Barish, okay, who ran, 2 years ago, lost, but got back up and ran again and won. She's a cancer survivor. She is just a great person. And she won finally. And I was just happy to hear that story because as somebody who's ran for stuff and lost and got back up and ran and won again, like, people understand that takes a lot to do. But you also got to be smart with it because you can't be a perennial candidate. No shade to Sherry Cohen. Love me some Sherry Cohen. But Sherry Cohen ran for a lot of seats and she's lost a lot of seats. And so you don't want to be a perennial candidate. But it's important to, just know, really, really read the room and shoot that shot. And Wendy Barish really read the room. And this time she came out on top. So I was really happy for her. Couple other folks, Lori Dumas, came victorious in her race. Tamika Lane, Michael Lambert, who didn't get the party's endorsement and still got one. Greg Yorgi, which first black man to win in the municipal court. Good for him. Black gay man. That's never happened. I'll just leave it at that. Other people who did some interesting things. So across the board, there's just in Pittsburgh, they had their first ever black mayor. He won the primary, most likely won the general election, but a black man, the first time ever Pittsburgh had a black mayor. And that was interesting to me because a lot of people out here act like Pittsburgh is such a really black city. And it is, but for them not to ever had a black mayor, and it's happening in 2021, was interesting. But then again, don't get me started. Philadelphia has not had an openly gay city council member. We also have not had a female mayor, a woman mayor. And Mayor Kenny, let's be clear, this trash crumb bum, is the 99th mayor of Philadelphia. We've had 99 men. And hopefully our 100th will be a woman. If a couple of people just be smart and just get out the race. But I digress. Ed Gainey, who was the Pennsylvania state representative, now he left that post and will become the first black mayor of Pittsburgh. Ed Gainey, y'all. Big deal. Big deal for Pittsburgh. I was more excited about other people's races than Philadelphia's races. But let's get into Krasner. Let's get into it, y'all. So, the race is over. So, as no surprise, and I try to tell people this, I did not vote for Carlos Vega. But I was making it a point not to allow myself to be used in a way by either of these candidates because I knew that there was rhetoric around it. I feel like the black vote, especially the black male vote, queer vote, especially, young people's votes, oftentimes get taken for granted. Black women's votes, especially. Okay, let me be clear. Their votes get taken the least for granted. They are often treated and discarded by the Democratic Party and any party for that matter politically by everybody. But I feel like in politics, like my vote oftentimes get taken for granted by white progressives that assume that they know what's best for me. And there was a lot of pandering that took place during this election, a lot of pandering. And there was some major things, some major outcomes. But I just want to be clear that, now that the race is over, look, I knew that this race wasn't going to be how great Krasner's record was. It wasn't going to be anything the moment that everyone decided this race was going to boil down to, if you're endorsed by the FOP, you're evil. If you're not, we're voting for you. And so it really boiled down to that. In a nutshell. There was a lot of people who didn't vote for Krasner because they really liked Krasner, because I don't fucking like Krasner. But I voted for the lesser evils. I looked at Vega as being the bigger evil in the race because he had a lot of money from the FOP and support from some questionable folks that were Trumpers and whatnot. And it was just too much of that I felt like just left him so unelectable. And it's sad because I do think that had the opponent been a black or brown person that did not get the FOP endorsement that challenged Krasner, we would be having a different conversation today. I would have not voted for Krasner. 100% would not have voted for him. And I also think Krasner, with the Soros money, would have maybe still won, but it would have not been a landslide. I wish that Kira Bradford Gray would have ran. I know that she might be having political ambitions elsewhere, and that's her right. But just selfish me, I think if she would have ran against him, she could have been the one that would have whooped his ass in the race. I feel like there was an issue of money, and I think that Krasner just really stunk up the entire race with that outside money, y'all. Nearly 75% of the money he received in his campaign contributions came from folks that was not from Philadelphia or not Philadelphia based, okay? He got CEO. One of the wives of the Netflix CEO gave money, Soros money all up in the mix. Lots of CEOs, millionaires, billionaires, all this outside money, California money from Qatar. It was just wow. That financial, it was just wow. But, listen, he's a Hollywood candidate. And he got away with a lot of stuff. It's a lot of white privilege to let a man like that be able to get away with what he's got away with. I just feel like we're hypocrites in the fact that there's a lot of people that let him get away with any and everything. Like any and everything. This man can do no wrong to people. And I think it's because of just how polarizing politics were. Because honestly, the moment I got into Vega and that money, I was like, well, there you go. But it was important for me, especially as a journalist and as someone who's just a natural thinker, that I'm not doing the work for Krasner, and I'm not doing the work for Vega. I'm in the business of, when I wrote the piece I wrote that said that I wasn't enthusiastic about either one of them, that really was a snapshot of how I really felt. They both have some major issues, and one definitely has done some real criminal justice reform somewhat. I mean, it's, that cash bill situation, y'all. Don't even get me started on that. But he has not lived up to some of the stuff. Is he perfect? No. But he's an arrogant son of a bitch that thinks he is God. And I think that that's what annoys me about Krasner, is the arrogance. Because in a seat like this, you really can't flex like that. You can't flex like that when you're literally the top prosecutor of the city. You're making decisions that's going to impact people's lives. And yes, you've done more than your predecessors in certain areas, but when you look at how just trash those Lynn Abram, Seth Williams, like his predecessor was serving jail time for political corruption. So the bar was on the floor when Krasner came in. And I just sometimes feel like, it just reminds me of white progressives and how they cut up around these elections. Like, the way they went up for Hillary. How people went up for Joe Biden. And it was just like, that's how I felt. Like, yes, Biden was way better than Trump, because Trump was literally Satan. But it wasn't like Trump was the best thing. Biden was the best thing. It wasn't like Biden was the best option. I was saying to a friend earlier that in a perfect world, it would have been Julian Castro and Elizabeth Warren. Like, I would have loved both of them, because Kamala, not crazy about Kamala either. But we got what we got. And, Biden has done a better job than Trump when it comes to addressing COVID, Middle Eastern affairs, foreign affairs. I digress. But in certain areas, he has done better. But I just feel like better than the devil is just always what we're getting the hand dealt with. And so it's just been an interesting election. It's been a lot of paternalism and shit, and I've just been over it. But some of the major takeaways, which I wrote in a op-ed I did for Philadelphia Magazine this week, it's titled 4 Major Takeaways from the Philadelphia Democratic Primary. The major takeaways for me was simple. The FOP is clearly losing power. I think that was important to note. Like, the FOP used to be the shit when it came to, if they backed you, that's a major endorsement to bag. Now it looks like it's hurting people. Like, you don't want to get an FOP endorsement, to be quite honest. I feel like you don't want to get that kind of FOP endorsement, because that could be questionable. If I was Josh Shapiro, who's about to run for governor, you might want to question. If I was, House Leader Joanna McClinton, who has been getting state FOP money, I think I might want to question. I think if you're going to back Krasner, you might have to reconsider that money for your reelection, next year. There's just a lot of important things at stake, and I think people need to really think about it. But the FOP, the Fraternal Order of Police, the police unions, their endorsements will do more harm. I think if Carlos Vega did not have the FOP endorsement, this will be a different conversation. I don't know if he would have beat Krasner, but I do think he would have been a lot viable. But the sad thing is that he probably would have not been, because the type of money that he needed to have a strong campaign against Krasner, it was FOP money, because he was not getting that crazy progressive money. And that's the sad part about it. So, big deal. Outside money isn't a guaranteed strike against local candidates. I think that was the biggest revelation for me. In the past, council member Jamie Gauthier, the council member who has unfriended me off of Facebook, who doesn't talk to me at all anymore, and is so mad at me because I, basically stated a fact that she received $6,500 from the Real Justice PAC, which is Sean King's PAC, and that happened right around the time where she publicly endorsed Krasner. Doesn't like that. She's mad. She unfollowed me, and I uninvited her for my wedding, so, it's a lot going on there. But I digress. She got money from Philly 3.0 in 2019, and I remember, back in the day when she was somebody that I, was support. I supported. I was a big supporter of her, and still support the decision for her to oust Janie Blackwell.
I think that was necessary, that Janie Blackwell had served for a long time, but she had to go. Jamie Gautier was a better candidate than her. And, I just hope that she makes more thoughtful decisions about what money she gets and how she navigates these political relationships, these murky waters, because, she's a freshman city council member. It is a lot. But, this money thing has been a reoccurring theme around her since she's got in the position, now that she's in the position. So when she got money from Philly 3.0, people consider that dark money. There was a lot of questions around that. I mean, from what I know, Philly 3.0 is not too crazy about her now. But at the time, there was a lot of suspicion around it. And now, Real Justice PAC giving her $6,500 has also raised new eyebrows. But that being said, who's to say that that's going to impact her, this type of outside is going to impact her race if she runs for re-election next couple of years? Because quite frankly, it seemed like if people like you, they don't care about the outside money. And I mean, that seems to be the case with Gautier as well when she went against Blackwell. I mean, people seem to not care unless they need to care. But it seems like outside money isn't a guaranteed strike against local candidates anymore. So that was one observation I saw from the election. Democratic endorsements still matter to an extent. And I say that to say that in a lot of these judicial races, all but one candidate that ran for the Court of Common Pleas was endorsed by a Democratic Party and won their races. Mark Moore, who's a black man, did not get into the Court of Common Pleas. And let me tell you something why that is personally upsetting to me. So Mark Moore is a black man who ran. He was highly recommended by the Philadelphia Bar Association. He was the other black man who got endorsed by the Bar Association and the Democratic Party, in addition to getting that support, just like Nick Kamau did. But what I heard that was very disturbing to me was the fact that the Northwest Coalition, yes, that messy Northwest Coalition, apparently accepted $50,000, allegedly, from a guy named Padova. His last name is Padova. He ran, didn't get an endorsement by the party, didn't get any endorsements by the Bar Association. I mean, this guy didn't get anybody's endorsements, but was running heavy, had heavy money, had lots of marketing all over town, and came in like nearly 13th, 12th place. Which, let me be clear, only 8 people get elected to the Court of Common Pleas for that primary. So for you to come around 12th with all that money, all that shenanigans, they took Mark Moore off their ballot and pushed him. And that was so fucked up. And that Northwest Coalition is strong because that area has a high voter percentage. And that could have taken him and carried him, but he lost. And we could have had 2 black men in the Court of Common Pleas in this election cycle. We didn't. And that just shows you how just messed up money in politics is. It just this that you will trade this brother out for a white man. That just, for a man who did not have the endorsements. The Northwest Coalition is politically powerful. This is a black political power is in the Northwest. And for them to do that to this brother, I mean, that was just despicable. Very disappointing. But what do we expect? This type of shit happens often. But all that being said, diverse candidates are gaining more credibility in citywide races. This is something I've been noticing since 2012, when an overwhelming majority of candidates of color in races for city council at large, the sheriff race, the city commissioner, and the register of wills, they were running, and it seems to be a pattern that we're seeing. So we have a black woman as sheriff, Rochelle Balau. Don't ask me if I think she's doing a good job or not. We have we have register of wills, Tracy Gordon, a black woman who occupied that seat for the first time, just the same way as a black woman, Rochelle Balau, occupied the sheriff's seat. And then City Commissioner Omar Sabir. And then we had now the at-large, right? In the entire at-large slate of Democrats and third-party candidates or Republicans, everybody except Alan Dom is of color. Either they're Asian or they're black. Helen Gim, David O, Isaiah Thomas, Kendra Brooks, who's from Working Families Party, Kathy Gilmore Richardson, Derek Green. Yeah, all of them are black or brown. So it's just interesting. The only person that's still on is Alan Dom. He's the only white person. So a big deal. A big deal. Yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, you know, I just want to be clear. And I want to say that this is an opportunity. I just think that what's important, what we do need to not lose sight of, is the importance of respecting black voices. I think what was upsetting about this election is just the prevalence of white progressives who just didn't know when to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Like, I just noticed a lot of people over talking black people about issues that impact our lives directly. Are you getting stop and frisk, Becky? Are you getting stop and frisk, Chad? Don't tell me about the stop and frisk rates in this city. Please, please. I can't tell you how many people thought they were going to tell me something. And you know what's weird is that I can hear the voice, the snootiness, the arrogance, the paternalism. And I just think it's clearly racism. There's a book coming out by that Robin woman. I don't even want to promote her book because she's problematic herself, but she wrote about white fragility. But she's got a book coming out about white progressives. I'm like, well, you should read your own book, sis. But, you know, that being said, it's just there is racism there. And I think that white people have really tried to define racism as being something that's a Trump thing. Something that is a Donald Trump situation that, you know, I'm not a Trumper, so therefore I can't be racist. The same way that everyone went around saying, I voted for Obama, so I can't be racist. It's the same bullshit. And I'm tired of it. I'm so fucking over that. I'm so tired of that rhetoric. I'm so tired of that language. I'm just so tired of that shit. And I felt like a lot of that was happening in this election cycle. And I just really hope that, okay, yes, he won. Yes, Krasner won the election. Krasner is having his little victory dance in this moment. And they done brought Sean King up in Philadelphia, clowning his ass. I can't tell you how many people I had to unfollow off of Facebook and block off of Facebook because of the shenanigans. And that's what I hate about election cycles, is that whether it's a primary, whether it's supposed to be a low vote, and let me tell you about this low, less than 20% turnout. Less than 20% of people voted in this election that were registered voters in Philadelphia. We should be ashamed, okay? No one should be walking around here flexing. That's embarrassing. They call these slow races, but this is judicial and DA races. But people I get it. People are fucking exhausted. But this is just sad. The turnout was very sad, but apparently it always is like this in Philadelphia. But I'm just tired of the paternalism. Just keep your thoughts to yourself sometimes. Just when it comes to issues, right? So that's the thing that I do. Like when there's issues that involve like Islamophobia, and I am hearing a Muslim person talk about their experience, I don't argue with them. I don't play devil's advocate. I listen. I say, that's not my experience, right? I know what my experience is, right? I use I statements. I let them talk. I sit back and I listen. Because if I don't listen, I'm not going to learn anything about other groups. And maybe with that information, I can inform other people who aren't Muslim about issues impacting the Muslim community, because I've learned something I can share with other folks who aren't, so they can be better people. That's what you're supposed to do, white people. White progressives, right? Like, you read these books, watch these documentaries, do that thing you do, right? You don't go back to a black person and recite, because chances are, well, we already know. We're not shocked. But you know who would be shocked? Someone like you, your cousin, your brother, your dad, your grandparents. Talk to them about those things. Lecture them, educate them, because they don't know. But coming to us and talking to us about it does nothing for us. It doesn't. It's not a thing. You don't get a gold star. I'm not impressed. I don't. It's not. You shouldn't be trying to impress me. You should be focused on doing the work to address as much as possible. Because I hate this term, anti-racist society. Because
racism is just it's not something you could just what they kind of keep talking about rooted out and all that. It doesn't work that way. But I look at it like it's an illness, right? It's got to be treated. But I don't think there's a cure to racism. I mean, it is no cure to racism in this inherent system. And when I see white progressives support two-party systems and I see them support this current democratic political structure, I know that you don't understand what the real cure is or what liberation looks like, because this system is inherently set up to give us tokenization of Black people in leadership power, right? The same way with Obama. It's set up and designed in a way to always put us down, even when it pretends to put us up. This system does not work. We operate within it because, unfortunately, this is the hand we're being dealt. But if you don't understand that, then you don't understand liberation of Black and brown people. You don't understand the efforts and the work it's going to take to really shift. And a lot of people are not about that life. A lot of people pretend they are, but they're too sensitive. They're too sensitive. They get in their feelings. They get into their white fragility. They make it about them when it's supposed to be about addressing some other issues. It gets too tight. It gets too personal. And I've seen a lot of people that I've looked at lately, and I'm just like, yo, like what's going on? You know, it's just a lot. And I just want people to be better. I'll say that. I just need people to be better. That being said, let's talk about people being better. This is random, but I want to get into this a little bit. Let's talk. There's a lot of stuff going on. Trump is going down. I just want to say that. Trump is going down. I keep saying on this podcast that Leticia James, you keep sleeping on Leticia James. I've been saying for the longest that I don't believe, I've lost faith in the government. I've lost faith in Congress, right? To do the work, to actually crack down on him. But this incredible, remarkable, Libra, she was born October 18th, 1958. Leticia James is a Libra. I am a Libra. I was born October 12th, okay? Leticia James, a proud Black woman, Libra, all right? Attorney General of New York said there is nothing more corrupt. This is what Trump said. There is nothing more corrupt than an investigation that is in desperate search of a crime, is what he said. But make no mistake, that is exactly happening here. He's been talking about this on his Save America PAC and on his blog. But spokespeople have said that we are now actively investigating the Trump organization in a criminal capacity along with the Manhattan DA. That's a big deal. They're no longer, quote, no longer purely civil in nature, that the investigation ongoing and subsequently has evolved, and quote, it's no longer purely civil in nature. That this years-long civil inquiry into Trump's business dealing, it is bigger now. Like I told you all, he is going down. His relationship with his good old friend Rudolph Giuliani has been tanking. It's been tanking. Apparently, they're not, allegedly, they're not talking. Looks like Trump is throwing him under the bus, according to sources. It does not look good right now. Is Rudolph Giuliani gonna rat on Trump? I mean, last time I checked, it was said that he was looking for a pardon before a crime, which is weird. But Trump pardoned a lot of people, including Kodak Black and Lil Wayne. Interesting. But this is real. And I just wanted to say that it's getting even more real because there is now going to be, and this is a big deal, this January 6th commission, The House of Representatives, Congress, has approved the January 6th commission over GOP opposition. GOP, the Republican Party, did not want this, but the House voted nearly along party lines, Wednesday evening to create a commission to investigate the January 6th Capitol attack
Okay? A big deal. It's a big deal. So it's a lot. The House is divided. Bipartisanship don't look like it's happening anytime soon. We in the crux of it. We're in the thick of it, as they would say. Shit is getting ugly. And it's getting more ugly because certain people are in their bag and their feelings. It's a lot going on. Philly politics, I mean, national politics. Bipartisanship has always been a joke to me. I think that given the fact that once the Republican Party decided to align itself with Trump, bipartisanship should went out the window. Because again, you're literally shaking hands with the devil. And Democrats aren't angels, which is why it's hard for any of these people to sit up here on this high horse and act like they're holier than thou. And that's the shit that get on my nerves. Is because a lot of times it's the same. It's this logic of, oh, look at what the other guy is doing. Yes, I see what that motherfucker is doing, but look at what you're doing. And nobody wants to look at themselves. And so that has always been, the frustrating part about this is that there's always been this arrogance coming from people on both sides of the political aisle when it comes to this political shit. But I just, well, he's going down. Okay, I just want to be clear about that. So this is brief, but this, Andrew Brown, the North Carolina Attorney General, they said they're not looking into any charges around Andrew Brown, a black man who was shot, Andrew Brown Jr. The policing system, terrible. Federal probe into Andrew Brown Jr. shooting by deputies is complicated by this North Carolina decision. They're saying, there are people who are saying, Andrew Brown did not use the vehicle as a weapon. His attorney says that Andrew Brown Jr. did not use vehicle as a weapon against the deputies. Because, to be clear, the district attorney, Andrew Womble, announced that he decided not to file charges against the county deputies. And this is a lot because this literally happened right around the same time the verdict happened. There was a camera on April 21st. This is around the same time around the verdict around George Floyd. And there's been body cam videos. This happened on April 21st. Basically, Brown was 42. He was killed in North Carolina in Elizabeth City. Deputies arrived to carry out warrants around drug-related charges, and the deputies shouted commands at him. He backed up his car and drove across a vacant lot. That's what's being claimed, but shots were fired. It's a lot, and there was a federal probe that the Justice Department was looking into it, but now that looks like it's going to be blurred because of this, and that's why people continue to say Black Lives Matter. That's why. That's why we continue to say Black Lives Matter. The 3 deputies who fired shots at Andrew Brown Jr. is now going to be reinstated and retrained, and that's the sad part about it. That's frustrating. That's frustrating. It's frustrating. So, in lighter news but awkward news, I don't know if you've been hearing about this Issa Rae situation, but apparently her and Lauren London had a situation because TV producers or executives wanted to cast Lauren London as the main character on Issa Rae's show Insecure, the awkward black girl, which was inspired by the YouTube show that Issa came out with on YouTube called Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, Adventures of Awkward Black Girl. And Lauren London was being considered for it, and Issa Rae was like not here for that. And apparently there was drama, and apparently the late Nipsey Hussle, which was Lauren London's lover and the father of their children, helped her mend fences. Apparently he helped mend fences to squash their beef. But I'm just sitting here looking like, I'm sorry, can we just talk and unpack some of the problematicness of that? Lauren London is a light-skinned woman who was going to play the character that was originated by a dark-skinned woman who is naturally awkward and was going to really share her experiences navigating that, which is completely different from that of a light-skinned woman like Lauren London, who's considered, a modern day sex symbol and icon in her own right, and icon in hip hop culture. She was in ATL. She's in a lot of movies. She's in this recently with Michael B. Jordan, but she's a symbol to so many people in the hip hop community, in the film circuit of that level. There's like when I say something like Nia Long or people like there's black iconic black women or sex symbols in pop culture in certain genres and fields, and so in hip hop culture, Lauren London has been desired by many, and she's talented. No one can take that from her. But I just thought it was interesting that there was all this like controversy, and why would they have beef? I mean, Issa killed the role. She's been nominated for a Golden Globe, an Emmy for this performance on Insecure. Is about to get in its final season. I just couldn't imagine anyone else to do a performance but her. But it just goes to show you how colorist the industry is. That even when a dark-skinned black woman is pushing for more programming that centers her in ways that is just beautiful and nuanced, and not just the Underground Railroad or them or another slave or traumatic porn or whatever, that it's even in those narratives, black women's stories, dark-skinned black women's stories are still being erased. And so I'm just happy that Issa stuck by her guns and did that. I mean, some people, she's had a journey where she's fought hard to maintain her stance. And that was weird. Like, she had to maintain her stance, her position on her own artistry and creative work, which says a lot about the state of affairs now. But that's where we are. Okay? Happy that she made that decision. And, Lauren London hasn't been without opportunity since then. So I guess all is well. So earlier this week, I took a position on a particular alcoholic beverage. It was a controversial position. And I said that I think it's time for black people specifically to come together to talk about this liquor, this cognac that so many people have really made a top tier beverage of choice. And I've wondered to myself for many years, since I've been able to legally drink, were we drinking this because we were told to drink it, or was it something that we really, really liked? And so the beverage I'm talking about, and most black people knew within the first 5 seconds, is Hennessy. Hennessy has been shoved down our throats in marketing for decades. I went back and looked at some old-fashioned advertising of Hennessy that included black people on the ads. And I must say this about Hennessy before I drag the fuck out of it. But shout out to them for being one of the first major liquor brands that did do marketing outreach to the black community, that did include us in respectable light, right? Like when you look at those ads, there were some good looking, sharp looking brothers and sisters on there that looked good. They were like, they were decent, right? They were looking like they were having a good time. And this was back in the 80s and 70s. And these ads are gorgeous. Go look up some of the old school black ads of Hennessy. There's tons of articles and stories written about it. But that being said, I always thought it just didn't taste good. And let me be clear. I have an acquired taste. I do have a good sophistication. I can taste brown. Mr. Johnson is a whiskey connoisseur. He's a brown liquor connoisseur. He's an ambassador. So by default, I've tried many variations of scotches and cognacs and all the brandies and all that stuff. And I mean, if you could see we have a little cellar in the living room, and we got everything. We got I don't know, McKellen, Glenfiddich or whatever it's called, Lich or whatever it's called. I can't pronounce half of those things. A lot of something monkey, something monkey, I think it's called. just so many different brown. I said McKellen already. I just remember McKellen. I like that one. Uncle Nearest, classic. Really like Uncle Nearest a lot. Bunch of other scotches. Oh, of course the labels, the black label, blue label, all those. It's just a bunch of brown liquor. But anyway, I don't really drink brown liquor like that, but I do know my brown liquor. And barely. But anywho, Hennessy is something we just don't have in the house. He hates it. I remember years ago, the only time I would drink it was when I was mixing it with some type of lemonade or some type of citrus-based drink. Because I couldn't drink it by itself. I didn't like it. It was just so ill. And I think that culturally people have become just taught to drink it because it just become a part of our norm. Because Hennessy has done a doing on the black community, okay? Next to the Democratic Party, Hennessy might be the biggest marketing scam to get us. And I'm not pushing for Republicans because they're trash. But I'm just saying, we're a little too heavy on the Democratic Party. We don't hold them accountable enough. And we definitely don't hold Hennessy enough. People just buy it as ritual. Like you go to parties, people say, I brought Henny. Why? I've had to get to a point where parties I've had social, I'm like, if you bring Hennessy, you're bringing it for yourself. This is a great, bring some good quality brown liquor. Bring some Douce. I like Douce. Douce is great. I love Douce. I like Douce with lemonade. I like Douce. Bring that. There's better alternatives, people. Okay? And Douce is black owned and stuff. Hennessy's not owned by a black person. And Crown Royal, child. Crown Royal's weird. I would never buy Crown Royal, but if someone brought Crown Royal Apple to the house, I might indulge in a sip or two, but I'm not a Crown Royal person. I think Crown Royal is like the New Amsterdam of, well, no, E and J is. But anyway, I'm not crazy about Hennessy. People have tried to push Hennessy down my throat, literally. I went to parties and people were like, you gotta do the boat, you gotta do the boat. That thing Meg Thee Stallion is promoting. And they're like, you gotta do the boat, you gotta guzzle. I'm like, I'm not going to guzzle this, y'all. Are y'all crazy? I can't do this. But people really want to push Hennessy. Like, they really act like Hennessy this stuff. And I just feel like, look, I'm a simple man. Like, I like Blue Coat gin, which is a Philadelphia gin. It's delicious. I love me some Ciroc, but I'm not crazy about Ciroc like I used to. But I don't mind Ciroc. A little bit of Hendrix, good little gin. I love me a little simple vodka. I'm a simple man. But Hennessy is, and I've gotten more into champagne more than anything, which, oh my goodness, before I digress, the hoagie room at Pizzeria Badia is incredible. For Philadelphians, I went, I saw, I ate, and I barely conquered. I thought we was going to conquer the hoagie room. Child, it blew us out. I mean, as far as the food goes. I mean, it was a lot of food. And we took some home. And we had creative ways of having leftovers. So it was 4 of us. It was 3 large pizzas that were, really done well. Look up Joey Badia. Look up Joe Badia. He is a pizza genius. Twitter is Pizza Camp. Is his Instagram handle. His Instagram handle is Pizza Camp. He has a book. He has an art to creating pizza. He doesn't, the way he makes pizza is an art. He's mastered and perfected how to make I don't know how we do it. The way he masters toppings, the way that he, looks at the study of the crust. It's such a simple, it's weird that but pizza, listen, it's a food. And mastering it and the taste, it's incredible. Oh my God. I can have a slice right now. Oh, so good. So good. But his hoagie room, and he only serves hoagies in the hoagie room. So if you go to Pizzeria Badia and get a regular reservation, you get pizza. But that hoagie room, y'all, that's where the magic happens. Oh my God. We went through 3 rounds of hoagies, 3 different rounds of different hoagies. And it was serving omakase, that sushi style chop up. Oh my God, it was so good. The salads, the small tastes, the sardines, the Gordian beans, the big old giant beans with the olive oil and the lemon zest, the salads, the soft serve. We had Dom Perignon in the glass. Well, I brought that. Okay, it doesn't come with that, y'all. The Gronies, Aperol Spritz, old fashions. We went through some series of cocktails. We just ate and drank our way that night. It was fabulous. We left at closing. When we left that room, no one was in Pizzeria Badia. We walked in, it was crowded. We walked out, no one was there. They let us stay for an ample amount of time and have a VIP experience. I felt like a millionaire. It was fabulous. It was great. I had a good time. The food was awesome. I want to go back again, but I need to give myself some space. Maybe before the wedding or maybe after. I got to figure out when I'm going to go back, but I definitely got to go back. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for my birthday. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for my birthday. My wedding, fuck that. I'm going to eat me something. I am going to go for my birthday. Because my family will be in town then. And I think they said up to 6 people. So I can make this like a family affair. But see, I need somebody with an appetite. Because I'm gonna make this a family affair. I think I'm gonna have my birthday there. Yep. Mind is made up. I think I'm gonna have my birthday there. That's the perfect time. And mind you, my birthday is October 12th and the wedding's October 16th. So it's 4 days in between. But I mean, listen, it's gonna be all right. I'm gonna make it work because I definitely gotta have this piece in my life. I'm gonna have my birthday there. That's the perfect time. And they treat me like royalty. It was a lovely get together. It was fabulous. Yeah, I'm gonna go back again. I'm gonna go back for my birthday. Made up my mind. Yay! Turning 30 in a big way. So that is that. All right. What else is going on? I did digress. But that being said, Hennessy's canceled. Abolish Hennessy. Period. Speaking of things that did get canceled, so Mix This, the show by Kenya Barris, got canceled. Blackish is in its final season. I think season 9 is going to be its final season. But Kenya Barris, who is the black man who's created this show, these shows. Oh my God. I don't know how if beating a dead horse is a person, it would definitely be Kenya Barris. I just feel like he has done these types of shows. Black as Fuck, which everybody thought was just this really, well, not everybody, people trashed that show and they should have. But it was cringy. I didn't like the show. I don't even know if it's coming back for another season. I hope it doesn't. But I hated that show. I thought it was so stupid. Blackish was the only, was fine. There's, Tracy Ellis Ross is great and everything. But then when he started doing Mixed Dish and Grownish and all this other, I was like, can you let it rest? I think he's come out with let me see, Blackish, Mixed Dish, Grownish. And then he's going to come out with another show that he's working with Eva Longoria called Brownish. We'll see. But I just cannot with Kenya Barris. Because I just feel like, dude, I'm not even going to go there. All I got to say is, this is also the man who co-wrote Girls Trip. Shocker. There's a lot of interesting things about Kenya Barris. Just not a fan. So, speaking of people I'm not a fan of, and people keep talking about this man, and people keep asking me, and I didn't know how to deal with this guy, but you all kept asking him. Y'all asked about Dr. Umar Johnson. I don't care about Dr. Umar Johnson. I really don't. Honestly, I think that at this point, if you still believe the school is going to happen, if you still give money to this man, if you still take him seriously, you're just dumb. Sorry. Just going to say that. You're just dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb. You're just dumb. Don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but I'm sorry. I just feel like there are people that show you who they are very clear. And if you're just choosing to really follow them in spite of all of their obvious pieces of shit, it's a choice. You can't tell me you're being manipulated by Dr. Umar Johnson in 2021. I'm going to look at you and say, where? What do you read? Do you go out? Do you know how to use Google? Do you know how to use the internet? What are you doing? People that follow Dr. Umar Johnson are hoteps. They're hoteps. There are people that follow him because they like what he says that affirms them in a way that is fucked up. They're homophobic. They're transphobic. They have a very myopic viewpoint about black women. They have a very chauvinist viewpoint around black masculinity. And they wear, they walk around with ankles and talk about kings and queens every 5 seconds. I mean, that's a culture. And there's people that like to hear that shit. And they like him. And like, that's it. Don't ask me no dumb question. What do you think about Dr. Umar Johnson? What do you think of Dr. Umar Johnson? Ask yourself that question. What the fuck you think I think about him? Don't waste my time. Don't waste your time. I'm not wasting no more of this podcast's time. But that being said, Kevin Samuels, y'all, this fake ass love guru. First of all, when I saw Kevin Samuels, I was like, that's Kevin Samuels? I don't even know. I don't even look into this man. But y'all kept pushing him on me, just like y'all did with that John Jackson dude or whatever, which was a joke. But that was just, please. My thing with the Kevin Samuels, when I looked at him, I said, first of all, a love guru for who? For women? I'm confused. Women as in he's attracted to? I didn't know. I saw him, I said, how you doing? Because he's definitely giving you zaddy energy in a different type of way. But he's been out here giving advice to quote unquote modern black women searching for a high value man. He's a YouTube sensation. He's a self-appointed professional image consultant. He's been getting a lot of buzz, but like a lot of crazy stuff. He's got six core value principles. I laugh at this because the shit is crazy. But basically, he maintains the market defines a high value man by 6 core principles. He says a man's ability to earn at least $10,000 monthly, earning $10,000 monthly over the course of 5 years. So that means that said man has to have at least $600,000, according to him. Acceptance from a group of other high value men. So other men gotta wipe you down, whatever the fuck that means. Access to a fraternity-like network. So you know he gotta be connected to the Qs, the Alphas, the Kappas, the Masons, and all of them. An accepted prominent position by society. So you gotta be a doctor, a lawyer. And then the ability to be of use by other high-value men. Damn, is he talking about me? No, I'm joking. But I mean, is he talking about Mr. Johnson? Do I fit those qualifications? Let me mind my business. That's too much business. That's bullshit. Okay, that's just bullshit. But some of y'all are out here probably low-key thinking, I don't mind that, but that's bullshit, okay? That's bullshit. Those are unrealistic expectations in an economy like this. You're defining black men and their value and their success on economic levels. Like, fuck out of here. Like, that's bullshit. But somebody is holding those standards and somebody's believing him, and there's somebody out there taking notes, or somebody look at themselves thinking to themselves, I fit this qualification. I must be a man of substance. I must be a man of value. There's somebody that's believing that shit. So I just want to say, that there might be somebody out there who is drinking that Kool-Aid. You got that coin? Y'all got that coin? Who got that coin? Who got that coin? Where the ball is at? So, I mean, the issue, though, with that, okay, yes, he's talking about men, but he has these issues around women. Judging women on a 10-point scale, talking about women being below average 8, talking about a particular fit, talking about black women's physique, comparing them to linebackers like Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders, claiming that, weight reduces her options for companionship. Talk about black women. One time he said, quote, you're a running back size. You could hit a gap like a motherfucker. So don't come up in here talking about what men can and cannot do when they got to accept somebody who could run the power I. You should be grateful that a high value man would pick you over a woman who is 5'4", 120 pounds, and a dress size 4. That's what he said. He called a black woman a linebacker. He went viral for this. The misogyny noir is real. And, I mean, clearly got hella toxic masculinity. He's not a real expert. I mean, who the fuck does he get these? Where do these certifications come from? This man wears a bunch of suits, got some aviator shades on, got somebody's degrees, and we out here acting like, I mean, he went to University of Oklahoma. There's no shade against the University of Oklahoma. But I'm just saying, you ain't top to your damn self for you to be out here acting like you that dude. Okay? Especially when I heard that your relationships ain't even all together. I mean, there's some people that be out here reading him. Because I feel like there's a lot of internalized hatred. There's a lot of there's clearly anti-blackness. There's a lot of misogynoir, hatred of black women. Misogynoir came from a term from Moya Bailey, who was this black woman who was a critical thinker that looked around the intersections of black women issues and things like that. She's great work. She's a scholar. Look at her work. There's a lot of shit like that. Like, where there's a lot of deep ingrained hatred of black women, but a lot of that deep ingrained hatred of black women from black men like Kevin Samuels comes from a sense of neglect and a sense of insecurity around his ability. Because when I look at him, I'm looking like, I ain't even gonna go there. But he's exploiting black women. And black women who's consuming that content, stop consuming the content. Don't let any black man tell you about what scale you on when it comes to relationships or anything like that. Don't listen to us. Please. If he was doing advice for men, that advice would still be trash. But just saying, like, why? Like, cancel. Be done with it. Period. And that's that on Kevin Samuels. Unless there is a big epic scandal, that's me on him. So, wrapping this up, I really love Mayor of Easttown. It is fabulous. It is a great show. It is the final 2 episodes are coming out the next 2 weeks. It was quick, y'all. I think it's like 7 episodes total. But let me tell you that it is some of the best TV I've watched this spring. And Kate Winslet, like, I'm just happy she got an Oscar. I know Amy Adams is due for one, but my goodness, she is so talented. Oh, can we just talk about what happened to Zabel? Which I kept calling him Sable, but it's Zabel. I guess that Delco accent got the best of it. But, oh my God. I mean, listen, you should have watched it. If you're a real Mayor of Easttown person, you should have watched. They killed him! Oh, they killed him! The killer that kidnapped the girls, they killed him. And now I'm like, but wait a minute. This guy ain't got nothing to do. This killer don't got nothing to do with the killer, the person that killed the other girl. I was like, I thought they were all connected. But so far, it don't seem like they are. And remember how the priest, like you've been following the priest and you thought the priest did something. Then you found the priest actually was trying to cover his tracks. So what the fuck is going on? Because this episode, they like literally did a 180. Everything we thought we knew or we didn't know changed. Like everything. Like they killed one of the leading like protagonists of the show that I just thought at the end, I mean, he finally kissed her, they finally connect, but there was an omen. And I was watching it and I remember the mother kept saying, be careful and all this. And I was like, why is this? What's going on? It was just interesting. They were setting us up, preparing us for this. And they just did it ruthlessly. They didn't even like, it was like a dramatic, it was just like, shot him, fell on the floor dead. Just like that. Wasn't no, hold on, wait a minute, any major, it just straight death. This reminded me of how crazy the finale of Star, which a lot of y'all didn't watch, but it was the I bring thee, Papa. That was that Lee Daniels show. I did watch it. Queen Latifah was in it, and every scene she changed her wig. And in the first season, she was into this guy, like a Tyrese. It was a lot going on in that show. But anyway, I like that show. But the ending was messy. They killed everybody off, shot everybody, and it ended in gore and blood, and they just killed a lot of people off, and it ended. And we never got a conclusion or anything. They just canceled the show, which is terrible. Terrible. And we never got a conclusion. It just ended like that. I was just like, this is horrible. But that's not Mayor of Easttown. I think this is a mini-series. I don't think they're going to continue it. I don't think they are. I mean, what I'm seeing happen in Hollywood is that folks want to get in the TV world because they're realizing, which is strategically smart. Like Kate is smart. I mean, I don't think they knew this was happening, but when the pandemic took place, a lot of people, movies are not going to movie theaters, and like a lot of these movies coming out now are just like, eh. But what we recognize through all of this is that the TV shows are driving energy, and I think actors are getting more consistency. They're doing HBO deals and packages because whether hella haywire, pandemic or whatever, people are going to sit down and stream something. So it's been interesting, but she's also done many series, and she's won Emmys before. She won an Emmy in a show called Mildred Pierce, which is based off of a classic film. I would encourage you all to watch that. It's on HBO Max. Mildred Pierce, but she was in that, and she killed that, and she won an Emmy for that. And this performance, I mean, she's definitely given Emmy buzz and tease for sure. I definitely can see her winning in the category for certain, because she's just bringing it. But definitely love the show. It's the final 2 episodes. It's getting juicy. It's been juicy each episode. The first episode had me hooked. The writer is in Pennsylvania. The creator of this, he's this great writer who's turned this book into a hit TV show, and he's like the creator. His name is all of it, so he might win a Emmy or something for it. But it's a really good show. Definitely, like, don't sleep on. Like, it looks like all the shows you've seen out in the woods, white women with a dirty bun. Which, let me just say, sidebar, the story around her and the bun and the look, she purposely is looking for roles that are not super sexy or super glamorous. She's purposely, and I'm talking about Kate Winslet. I was reading an interview that she recently did, that she's purposely looking for roles because she is really sensitive and also takes it very serious about the role that body image play. And so she has not, her earlier years, she was, a goddess. I mean, did you see her Revolutionary Road, Titanic? I mean, Sensibility, many iconic roles where she was, a sex symbol, hair, divine look, but she is interested in playing roles that are not as super glamorous and whatnot, because she is thinking about the role of body image, and she, she felt pressure when she started. I mean, Kate Winslet been in business for over 25 years. Okay, as a loyal Kate Winslet fan, okay, who's seen her many Oscar-nominated performances, okay, starting with Sense and Sensibility, Titanic, Iris, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, The Reader, which she won the Oscar for, Steve Jobs, which she got nominated for Best Supporting Actress, Little Children, I forgot about Little Children. Oh my goodness, what, 7 Oscar nominations I just gave out. Killing it. A beast. And I'm just a big fan of her work. So her work is everything. Yes, 7 Oscar nominations. See, I knew I'm a big Kate Winslet. I was like, was there another role? But I get Revolutionary Road confused because she won a Golden Globe for Revolutionary Road, and it was the same year The Reader came out, and most of the time she was getting nominated for double categories, but she's been nominated for 7 Oscars. Her first Oscar nomination was in 1996. That was 25 years ago. And her most recent was in 2016, which was 5 years ago. So she's been in the business. She's been getting an Oscar nomination, 7, in the past 25 years. And she's 45 years old. So she got nominated for Oscar at 20. She's a beast. Kate Winslet is 45 years old, y'all. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. And and Leonardo DiCaprio is 46, but let me just also say, Kate Winslet is a Libra. I just think it's important to note that she was born October 5th, a week before my birthday. Okay? Kate Winslet is a Libra. Just wanted to state that for the record. Libras have longevity. Libras are excellent. Libras have versatility.
And it just seemed like Leticia James. It seemed like the Libras are just killing it, been killing it. We're just cut from a different cloth. I don't know what these Tauruses are doing, and let's not even talk about Geminis. Good God, let's not. Let's just not do it. But no, I'm just been deeply impressed. So I stand them all the way. I just can't. So the other news is her acting buddy, Leonardo DiCaprio, has been nominated 7 times as well. And he got his first Oscar nomination in 1994 for What's Eating Gilbert Grape. He finally won in 2016 for The Revenant, which is the same last year she was nominated. But he was nominated. Last time he was nominated actually was for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But he's gotten 6 Oscar nominations for his acting, and then he got another Oscar nomination for producing The Wolf of Wall Street. So she's got 7 Oscar nominations for acting. He's got 6. But he's been in business since 1994. Okay? He's been getting Oscar nominations since 1994. Big deal. So, they don't make the Hollywood actors like that anymore. I could digress about that. But what happened to the Hollywood actors like that? What happened to the Julia Roberts? The Angela Bassett's and the big black movie stars and white ones too, like Natalie Portman. We don't have those types of Hollywood stars anymore. These people just fall off. Like, I feel like Jennifer Lawrence was like the last one and she kind of just fell off quickly. But we don't have the ones anymore with the staying power anymore. Just observation. But, also just saying, Pose, y'all. I don't know what Pose has been on, but Pose has been killing it. Pose has been crushing it. Pose has been doing it. The last episode with Billy Porter was the best episode of the series. I think. I keep saying each episode's better than the next, but I think the Billy Porter episode this week, Pray Tell, when he visits the South, sees his church family, the cameos, it was probably the best episode of the series. I was just like, give this man an Emmy. He comes out to his family. Pray Tell finds out that he has AIDS, which is not the same as HIV. HIV is the virus. AIDS is the disease. And it's AIDS that is more deadlier than HIV. HIV is not a death sentence for those who, talk about this. It's the virus. The virus, if without meds or proper treatment, can lead to AIDS, which can be deadly. And there's no cure for HIV or AIDS, but there is life-saving treatment for HIV. So, cut the stigma out. So, Billy Porter, after the show came out, he announced to fans and to the public that he has been HIV positive for the past 14 years, which some people have tried to say the word reveal, and I think the word reveal, the language, right, diction, word choice matters. To say reveal treats it fuels this secrecy in a shamey, stigmatized way. Billy Porter, who is a Grammy-winning, Tony-winning, and Emmy-winning actor, entertainer, a black gay man who's paused, said that he did not come out for years because of the fact that he thought this would hurt his career. And during that time, from the time in which he came out since 2007 when he was diagnosed to now, he went on to do Kinky Boots and many shows, including the show. He said he did not tell the cast to pose, so no one in the cast knew. He finally just recently told his mother, but felt like she would be quote-unquote persecuted because she's Pentecostal. And I thought that was interesting because I grew up Pentecostal, but his mother's Pentecostal, and she had already been quote-unquote persecuted enough from the church for embracing him as her gay son. And so for him to come out to her as also being HIV positive, he felt like it would just create more issues. But, he's at a point where he wants to live his life and live his truth and live his life fully and happy and be, all of those things. And I think that's important. I think that, I was wowed by that. I was like, wow, it didn't change. Clearly it didn't change anything in my perception of him, but just an admiration and respect that, like, it was his health status is none of our business. He didn't have to disclose. But the fact that he chose to, the fact that he is using his platform to inspire people in that way, yet again,
is iconic and trailblazing within itself. And it's just a lot of, this is an important time to just, I tell people just to take a moment to listen, to understand, to not indict people in who have had these issues. And it's also a reflection of society and progress because, he has given the world so much. And for him to feel like he could not is not his fault, but a reflection of the society that we live in. That there are people who are even the most gifted and most talented people out there who are still feeling like they can't, be their true selves or fully tell us things. And again, we are not entitled to know. But the fact that he felt ready to, and the fact that he wanted to free himself in that type of way is just admirable. So I just hope that people really don't write him off and people don't perpetuate the stigma around people who are living with HIV and people who are Black, who are queer, who are gay, who live in all these identities. I hope that people don't do that because it really creates a society where everyone said they're progressive, everybody said they're this and that, but then these are the moments where people are being tested. So hats off to Billy Porter and just the show. It's wrapping up. It's ending so soon. We're like a couple of episodes away to the series finale. And I'm not ready for it to go. I thought I was, but goodness, it's been a journey with the show. But this show is continuing, and we're taking a break next week. So don't text me and message me like, "Where's the episode?" It is on a break. I am enjoying my vacation. My vacation starts when I get off of this podcast for this week, and when I come back, there will be by then some surprises, most likely. Let's hope. Knocking on that wood, I will have my surprises for you all, but I want a break to hibernate. And that's all for now. Be best, be well, be great, be progressive, but be a listener. And until then, see you soon. Ernestly Speaking is recorded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. To stay up to date with the latest on the show, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Mr. Ernest Owens. Use the hashtag Ernestly Speaking to tell me what you thought about this episode, and check out my website at ernestowens.com.